Premier League predictions for the 25-26 season. We're on tier maker. Very simple. Split into Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, the mid-table spots, the lower mid-table, the one team that avoids relegation, and of course the relegation zone. You know, let's start from the bottom now. We're here. You know what I mean? 20th, Sunderland. Well, I know people are saying that, they've signed Granit Xhaka, they're going to be amazing. Yeah, they also signed... Well, who else did they sign? They signed Jermaine Defoe, Darren Bent. They were not good enough to keep them up back then, and this is now. Their only Premier League proven player is a man who's not been playing in the Premier League for about 3 years. I mean, they have a Dingra, but other than that, yeah, there's no hope for them really. 19th. Who am I thinking for 19th? I'll tell you who I've got for 19th. Brentford. You cannot sit here and tell me that a team that has lost their starting goalkeeper, their captain, and some of their best players is going to stay up. Especially when you consider they've got a man at the helm who has literally no experience managing before. Like, he's just a dude in a coat, and that's it. No hope for them at all. The other team, the third and final team getting relegated, is Burnley. 2 words. Scott Parker. And Burnley could have, squad-wise, one of the best squads to survive in the Premier League. But they have Scott Parker at the wheel. He's not a good manager. Do you remember his stint at Bournemouth? I certainly don't. It was terrible. He then went to Club Brugge or something in Belgium. I don't think he did very well over there either. And now he's coming to Burnley to try and keep them up. Playing 4-4-2 Sean Dyche era football. That's what got you relegated, albeit eventually, last time. But with Scott Parker's tactics, I don't think they'll work very well. The team in 17th that I think will just avoid relegation. West Ham. Now, this is a tricky one. Because they have some really good players. They've still got Paquetá. They've still got Areola in there, who's very decent. They've got Kyle Walker-Peters, who they've signed from Southampton at right back to cover with Wan-Bissaka. It's a good side, but as much like how Burnley has Scott Parker, West Ham have Graham Potter. I have very little faith in this man. There'll be a lot of draws, there'll be heavy losses, very few wins. Then they're going down. Well, they'll look like they'll be going down. Maybe they'll survive by a point. Who's to say? 16th then. You've lost Cunha. And a host of other players. Not just this window, but previous windows. I don't even know who you still have anymore. But if Wolves have one thing going for them, is that they have a good scouting policy. They can bring in some really decent players. I think they'll be okay, but it won't be pretty. Going up to 15th, it's the other promoter club, Leeds. I think they will stay up. They loaned out quite a few players when they were in the Championship to get some much-needed quality experience. They have recruited well. They have a good side. I don't think they will be as good going forward as they were in previous campaigns. I really don't. You've got Lucas Nurkic up front, an injury-prone striker who's I don't rate him. He's not very good. But their defence and midfield will be okay, I think. 14th. Fulham. You want to know, at the time of recording, how many players Fulham have signed? 1. As a backup goalkeeper. You have not improved a squad That wasn't very good to begin with. And if everybody else is improving around you, you're going to struggle. Very much so. Even if they do manage to sign 2, 3, maybe even 4 good players, it won't work. It won't work. Rounding out the lower mid-table, Nottingham Forest. I know what people will say. They did really well last season. They've got some great players. They've players that, but the amount of games that they will have. You've lost to Langer, first of all. He's gone to Newcastle. Who's your threat on the right hand side now then? Yeah, Langer was better than Hudson-Odoi. So you're keeping Hudson-Odoi and you're replacing Elanga with, like, what? The amount of players that have come in and out, I don't even know who you could possibly put there that could fill the hole that Elanga has left. But you've got the quality to stay up. You'll be alright, if not underwhelming. 12th. Let's just get that out of the way. 11th. Everton. They've actually had a pretty decent window. Jack Grealish is a big upgrade for them. They've invested in some young defenders. They've got Thierno Barry up front. I think he will do very well. And they'll get some very, very decent results. But a lot of new faces, a lot of new ways for them to win and lose. They'll take some time finding their feet in the first half of the season. They'll pick it up in the second half. But by that time, they won't get very far. Or 10th place, rather. Bournemouth. Now, this is wild, because I would have normally had Bournemouth a lot lower down. Why? Because they've lost their entire defence. Kerkez to Liverpool. No, Zabani to PSG. Hodgson to Real Madrid. And then Kepa went back to Chelsea. Petrovic is fine. I liked the signing of Georgia Petrovic. But who else have you got? Like, honestly? But Bournemouth find a way. Somehow. They've got a good manager. I rate the squad. I reckon 10th's a good one for them. In 9th. Manchester United. Yes, they've signed Mbuemo. Yes, they've signed Šeško. Yes, they've signed Cunha. But that's it. You can't improve your attack and just expect everybody else to fall in line and be good. Because they're not. I don't rate Onana. I don't rate Yoro just yet. Who have you got at left back? And you've still got Harry McBlibbing-Guire at the like, come on. But if you think you're getting European football, just no. Just no. Spurs. Thomas Frank knows what he's doing. He's a well-drilled manager. And he showed that at Brentford by being quite consistent. The quality of the squad has now increased from Brentford to Spurs. I reckon he can get Spurs into 8th, no problem. Though it does depend on who you choose to have up front. Because if you... Because without Son... Ooh. Yeah, we'll see. They'll do okay. Conference League. That's a big one. Newcastle are having a bit of a crisis with Alexander Isak. I don't think he stays. If he does stay, he won't play for a certain number of games, maybe like 4 or 5. But Newcastle will slip up in those 4 or 5 games by a goal or 2. And that will really, really hurt them. If they do get rid of Isak, well, I mean, yeah, you've got Visa and Elanga and Gordon, and they're great, but they're not going to get you any higher than the Conference League, I'm sorry. Europa League, Villa. I don't know what's going on with Villa. Like, you look at their squad, and it's a really good squad. You've got one of the best goalkeepers in the world. a very solid back line, some really solid midfielders, some really solid attackers. They're just incredibly inconsistent with their results, and I feel like this season will be the exact same. Just by the high standards that everybody gave them when Unai Emery came in and transformed the club, they'll just be underwhelming yet again. Villa, I think, should be pushing for Champions League with the squad that they have. They'll be very lucky and very fortunate to get Europa League. Joining them, Brighton. I think this is the season that Brighton actually do something for once. No longer are they finishing in this area here with your Evertons and your Crystal Palaces. They'll actually get European football and Europa League at that. They have the squad, they have the players, they have the experience now where they could probably go 7, 8 games unbeaten, get a bit of a run going, push for Europe in the final latter stages of the season. I think they can do it. Oh, the Champions League then. 4th. I mean, come on, that would be really funny, wouldn't it? Imagine signing Victor Gyökeres after the season he's had at Spurs and telling him, yeah, you're going to finish 4th, mate. The left-hand side of their attack, okay, is not good enough. Gabriel Martinelli and Leandro Trossard are good players, but Arsenal are not a good team. They want to be a great team. Martinelli is too inconsistent, and Trossard, he either is or he isn't. He never makes his mind up. You look over to the right-hand side, and people have been screaming, we need a backup for Bukayo Saka. So they spent, 62 million quid on Noni Madueke. He was a good player, but he's not 60 million. No. Maybe 25, 30 mil at a push. But again, he's a good player. Arsenal want to be a great team. So they've kind of done what United did this window. They've improved their attack. Well, improved in inverted commas. But, that's... You're neglecting key areas. They've signed Christian Norgard. I think that is a good, solid signing. They've got Martin Zubimendi. Again, good midfield signing. You've kind of let the wings down, though. You'll be solid in the middle, hopefully. But you'll be absolutely rubbish out wide, and that will cost you. Chelsea. Now, I don't know why, but I think Chelsea, with their 5,327 personnel, I think they'll actually do quite well. If you refined their squad down to the 27, 28 players that they're realistically going to use, you've got a semi-alright goalkeeper, a back line that can hurt you on the break and defend reasonably well. You've got a midfield of some really, really solid players like Enzo. Maybe get Romeo Lavia in the mix. Cole Palmer going forward. And then you have the option of João Pedro going forward and Liam Delap. Sounds underwhelming, especially when you consider Liam Delap is... It's not really that good. But I think there'll be a surprise package. Big surprise package. They'll beat Arsenal home and away. I'm calling it right now. Ooh. In second place then. Madness really, isn't it? Imagine telling Arne Slot, congratulations for signing £300 million worth of players? You brought in a Trent Alexander-Arnold replacement with Jeremy Frimpong. You've signed Florian Wirtz, one of the hottest young players in the world. You've sold Luis Diaz for by 80 million. You've signed Deki TK. There's just so much going on that I think people are being blinded. They're like, oh, well, they've spent loads of money and brought in all these players. They must win the title now. And, arguably they should. But they won't. They simply will not. Bringing in players, no matter how good they are, requires time to gel. There needs that team cohesion, and if there's not enough cohesion, then you can kiss winning the league goodbye straight away. And they won't gel quick enough. By Halloween, Liverpool will be... They won't even be in the Champions League spots by Halloween. And sure, second half of the season, maybe after January, they'll kick on, get some good wins under the belt, but now I can see them slipping up, maybe to Leeds at Anfield. That would be embarrassing. Then the Merseyside derby, I see that being a draw in both games, which isn't great. Which naturally has Manchester City at the top, winning the league. Which sucks because I cannot look at a team that has signed Ait-Nouri, Cherki, and Tijani Reinders, even though they're all decent players in their own right. I can't look at that team and say, yep, they're winning the league. I just can't. Ait-Nouri is a good player. I don't think he's a Manchester City level player. Ryan Cherki reminds me of Mario Götze, a wonderful young talent who is electrifying to watch. Moved to a big club in Bayern Munich, all fell apart, was never the same again. I think that's a similar story we're looking at here for Cherki. He won't do well, and it should cost City, but I don't think it will. So, there you go then. That is from up to down, left to right, what I think the 25-26 season will have in store. Tell me your thoughts down below.